of Tyler Hadley taken at a party hours after he allegedly beat his mom and dad to death with a hammer.
What's up with it, man? White Boy Out Down Radio, back with another one. First time here, smash and subscribe. Let's get the channel over 8K. Big shout out to not only all my subs, but all my members, man. Much respect. Look below, join the member option. Man, look behind me real fast before we get to the video. The YouTube studio has came a long way, especially if you've been down with this channel a long time. I told you guys, man, whatever I make on this little thing here, we'll go right back into it. And some stuff you can't see. The webcam, these little lights that will give me a little bit more extra light, the stuff around the room. Appreciate everybody, man. I appreciate everybody. Just wanted to show everybody the shirt real fast before we get to the video. You know, bam. Let's get into it. So a while back I did a video on Tyler Hadley. If you're not familiar with this case, or you may not remember the case, this was a kid who was 17 at the time. He wanted to throw a party for high school, and his parents, they wouldn't let him, and he ended up killing both of his parents. Okay, the way that he did it was brutal. He did it with a hammer. Okay, so he did it with a hammer, and he left them in their bedroom, whatever. I don't remember if he put the sheet over them or put them under the bed. He did something to that nature, and he just left them in there. So he did throw the party, and he, don't remember if it was Molly or X. He did that in some Percocets, and at some point, you know, as he's, you know, blowing up or whatever, love you, man. You know, not to be funny or anything, but he was in one of those moments, and he told his friend like this graphic thing that he did. Not only that, he took the friend into the bedroom, the master bedroom of the parents' house, and showed his best bud what he did. So that's a real fast recap of that case. This is an update on it for people that are new to the channel. I was actually in jail with the dude. Not only was I actually in jail, I'll put it on the end screen of this video. I dropped the video a long time ago where it's me and him in bond hearing. Okay, so literally it's courtroom footage that I was able to dig up where he's in a Ninja Turtle suit and I'm behind him, and the judge is like, okay, I was in jail for driving unsuspended at the time. Come on, and it's not nothing big, but I had to go to bond hearing. Okay, and I'm not a quiet guy. I'll speak to the judge. Okay, yeah, I don't have anything to hide. Let's talk about this petty thing that I'm in here for. Let's go ahead and get it over with, Judge. I'm not scared to talk to the judge, but when you have a guy in front of you and the judge is like, okay, your bond is set at $1 billion because you murdered your parents, it's a little bit intimidating to go and speak to him after that. You know, you don't want. Listen, it's a horrid case. It's a horrendous thing. And a recap on that, the kid is a 17-year-old kid. He was in a Ninja Turtle suit, and for the ones that don't know about that, it's a mental health suit. It's a suicide suit. They call it a Ninja Turtle suit. You look like a Ninja Turtle when it's on. It's a skirt. No matter if you are male or female, it's a blue paper suit skirt looking thing, and you don't have any belt buckles, no shoelaces, anything like that, because your mental health is not where your mental health is so bad that you've literally had to go to staff corrections, the nurses, and say, hey, I'm feeling, you know, suicidal or whatever it might be. And he was in bond hearing in the paper suit, the Ninja Turtle suit. You know, and man, they really didn't take kind to this kid in the juvenile part of the jail. And I know this because yes, I was in the adult part of the jail, but there's a lot of things I've yet to say on the channel. You know, longevity. Okay, I actually know a CO very well. He was a CO. He got fired. But there's many stories to come to that. You know, he's in law enforcement at the time. He was a good friend of mine. A good friend of mine, to the point where in this instance right here, when I did go to jail for driving unsuspended, you know, it was I got caught a few times. I eventually fixed my license. Yes, today I drive CDL trucks. Yes, We all know this, but before that, I had some hard times with addiction and whatnot. And there's no sense for me to bond out on the driving on suspended because it was my first time. Okay, so I was going to do some, whatever the mandatory time was. I think it was like 30 to 60 days, nothing serious. But there's no sense to bond out. He came down, my friend that worked in the jail came down and grabbed me right out the pod and put me right to the trustee dorm. Okay, I was getting super hated on for that because, I mean, dudes are trying to make trustee like crazy when they're in jail. For the people that don't know, here in Florida, you do 85% of your time. So, if you get sentenced to, off the top of my head, 3 years, it's 36 months. 85% of 36 months would come to 30 months. So if the judge is telling you 3 years, as long as you have good behavior, you're going to do 30 months, which is 2 years and 6 months. So already we have 6 months knocked off that. Now, in a jail setting, you can become a trustee and earn additional game time. So now the 3 years is down to 6 months off your game time, your 85% date, and you're going to gain another 5 days a month. Okay, so it's going to drop back down to, you might end up knocking 9 months off the initial date. Okay, so most people will get the 3 years, have to do 2.5 if they don't get in trouble. But if you could become trustee in a jail setting, you would get another additional, 3 to 4 months. So now the 2.5 years have just gotten down to just over 2. Okay, people are trying to get that very bad, and he just came and he would get me, bypass the whole medical thing. It was a good friend of mine. He eventually got eventually fired for something, and we're gonna have him on the channel. I'm stepping ahead of myself right now, but the point is, he would let me do things that most inmates couldn't do. Okay, and there was a time where I ran down on purpose. They would come over to the speakers in the dorm. We need 2 volunteers to bring the laundry down to B5. And I would go. And I wanted to go bad. I'm bored out of my mind. But also, I wanted to see and experience this kid because I have only seen him the one time in bond hearing, and I know about this case. It was huge at the time. So I did get down there, and I got to see him. I mean, not have a conversation or a big long thing, but enough to just in person, face to face, beyond and more than bond hearing, which you can't really talk to anyhow. And it was just a sheet exchange. They have to change the sheets in there. Inmates, people get scabs and scabies and whatever have you. I'm handing the sheets. They're putting the old ones in the dirty laundry thing, and I'm handing the clean ones. And we didn't talk. I just got to look him in his eyes, and but I got to meet him. He had a black eye when he came to get his sheets, and this wasn't too long after. While I was in there, okay, after the bond hearing, it was in the paper that he was getting beat up a lot. Okay, the juveniles didn't take kindly to this kid. They didn't understand it. They're adolescents. They're young, they're immature. There's a lot of gangs, and they didn't like what he did. Okay, look, say what you want about incarceration setting in general. Most guys in there, despite what they're charged with, no matter what location they're at, they hold mom and dad dear to their hearts. So I guess it was weird for most of the kids. They used to beat the crap out of him. Okay, and this guy Tyler Hadley, he was in this jail for years and years. Eventually, he got life. Okay, I want to give an update because recently I know he's going back. He's going back to court. I guess at a chance of a release date. Personally, I don't see it happening. We'll see what happens. I'll keep you updated. But they used to beat the crap out of this kid in the jail. I mean, bad. Okay, so he goes to prison, and I've always followed this case. I would get out, and I'd show people the video. If you watch the video at the end screen, you'll see the bond hearing thing. But I would talk about it to people and stuff like that. And, you know, it was just, I don't know. It was strange because when I was in there, you have to look out for yourself, be aware of your surroundings and whatnot. And it's very rare that something like this is going to come through the jail, okay? Something to this nature. I mean, he killed his parents with a hammer, okay? Out here, I'm looking at it and reflecting on it, and you really have to take a grasp of what this kid was thinking. It would take a real person who's really wired different to do something like that. But inside, I was just looking. It's just such a different reality, to say the least. You know, one thing I want to say about this case is the dude's grandma, which would be, I don't know, either the mom or the dad, whatever side it is, it doesn't even matter. She would come religiously to see him, okay? At the end of the day, that's her grandson still, but there's no in between. She doesn't have, you know, a son or a daughter anymore, and he doesn't have a mom or dad anymore. So that was a strange aspect. She really would come religiously, okay? But anyway, he goes to prison, and look, I try to keep the people that I met in prison, obviously to a minimum, okay? There's still plenty of people that I speak to, okay? It's one place I guess you want to say you don't freely exchange your number. But even when you do, some guys, you use your judgment in there, and you know if they're getting out, whatever, especially if they were solid. There's something about it where you can exchange numbers, but very rare will stay in contact with you, even call you upon release. There's a few people that go in the lives and the chats that I'm very close to. I met in there, and even if they don't come on the channel, there's a select few that I do stay in contact with, you know what I mean? But that's because they're out. There's a few people inside that have my number, and you know, we communicate when it's possible, to say the least. But Tyler Hadley went through, he went through a camp I have a good friend at, and let me tell you, they got that kid going to canteen with grandma's money, buying Skittles, putting it in the window seal, and making lipstick out of it, okay? Full-blown sissy. It is what it is. It's weird. Thinking about it, you know, he was 17 when he did that heinous thing. You know, how many, you know, what life experience did he even get before doing that? But they adjudicated him as an adult. He was very close to 18 when he did that as well. It just makes you think. The aspect of him in jail and the juveniles beating the crap out of him, they made the newspaper once. They beat him so bad. He was probably getting bullied, okay? And it was an adolescent mindset. And they were confused. They didn't want him around. They couldn't understand it. Like I said, mom and dad close to any inmate's heart. But when he graduated from jail to prison, you really see a difference here. It's the real criminal mindset of things. Different levels, okay? And what I mean is, this dude went from getting beat up on a daily basis, you know, quiet, humble, okay, scared all the time in jail, into an adult side of things where he's really put in a bad spot because nobody respects what he did. There's no downplaying it. There's nothing. There's nothing, okay? He's really wide open. And he's already experienced getting bullied and beat up. I wish I could say I'm sorry for the kid. But his parents. And these dudes, look, they're preying on him, okay? There's some real sick, deviant people in there, and that's what they're doing, okay? So he's already scared, but he's entering this place. And man, look, I guess he's doing what he's got to do to not be scared. I don't know. Call it what you want. Just don't call it Matt, man. This case is weird. You know, you break down these things. It's one thing if it's a girl and there's a weirdo who's obsessed. This one is it's just very strange. It's got mental health all over it. It's very strange, man. I wish I could say more or put an ending on this, but tell me how you feel about it in the comments below, man. Tyler Hadley, I'll put it on the end screen. We'll always keep you updated with this. I want to say this before I go. Personally, I know from what I read, he's going back to court to get, I believe, the life sentence off of him because they adjudicated him as an adult. And a few years ago, I don't have the exact date, there's case law to where they can't do that in Florida anymore. Because I remember a lot of cases but after the law was passed, a lot of kids that were sentenced to life got it reduced, okay? Some of them got life in prison. I'm sorry. Some of them got right up to life, but they still have an out date, something to look forward to. It's something that was passed in Florida about 5 years ago. But beyond that, my thoughts on this kid is, again, we never had long conversation. I don't know him. I've kept tabs on him, and I've been in front of him a few times, around him, I guess. With the turtle suit, with the suicide outfit, the mental health stuff, with the what somebody I trust told me. Okay, Tyler was at this guy's camp for some time. Okay, my buddy then got moved to a different camp. Whether Tyler's still there or not, I don't know, but I trust his word. You know, just all these things, I really don't see him making it the whole time. I don't. Now, I don't wish harm on anybody. I don't want him to something to happen to him in there. But it's you know, it is what it is. You know, his thing here is he needs to find peace with God, and hopefully he could do that. Because in my eyes, I think his days are numbered. I'm just saying, it's my personal opinion. We'll see what happens. I'll keep you updated, man. Shout out to each and every one of you. Much respect. I redid this video because I made one, and the members may have seen it, but it was so outdated, man. I try to stay on top of content so hard, and I do, that I overdo it. So that's my New Year's resolution. You can't say that I don't think about you guys. And on that one, I'm out of here, man. Smash a like, subscribe if you ain't done so. Like, share it, all that good stuff. Comments, whatever. Join button down there. I'm talking fast, so what I'm going to do right now is hit the end button right now.
I could care less about that attorney and whatever he feels and thinks about. That family has ignored phone calls. That girl used to live there.